Hello friends, Tanya here for Trinity Stamps, and today I am going to do some happy autumn themed projects. I am starting out with the Foliage Flare 2-piece stencil set. I think this is a gorgeous stencil set. As you can see, it does create a large background. And when we first got these stencils, I started to play with the stencils and some shimmery paste type products. We've got the Nouveau Embellishment Mousse and the Cosmic Glitter, I think that's the company, opal paste, pearl paste or polish, gilding polish. And I created these different backgrounds on black cardstock, and they are stunning. I also am using the A7 Eyelet background die. This is gorgeous. Anything A7 is going to have my heart. And this is the bottle gift tag. This came out last year, and I love this thing. I've used it a lot. Not like I give wine a lot, but you can hang it on a bottle of all kinds of things. I took one of those panels that I created on black cardstock and I cut that from with the wine tag, and then I also cut out one of the Eyelet backgrounds that I die cut in white. Now I trimmed off just below the hole on the eyelet lace, and I'm going to adhere that to the back of this black tag, but I'm going to adhere it a little lower than the end of the black tag. I want some of that eyelet lace to just show underneath the main body of the wine tag. It is so pretty. It really adds some delicate elegance to this tag. Now, to create this longer backing for the tag, because I wanted it to look very finished and polished, I partially die cut the top part of the wine tag, then laid the completed front of this tag on the cardstock, overlaying it, and marked where the bottom of that tag was, and then partially die cut the rest of it. Now I'm going to adhere the wrong sides together and create the base of our tag. And I know I didn't show you all of this stenciling, but I'll show you some stenciling later. Don't you worry. And it easily folded. This is not a really heavyweight black cardstock either. Next, we're going to pull out the Pumpkin Bouquet stamp and die set. I took that and stamped it with the Atelier black ink, and I colored it with Copic colors, and then I restamped over the top to keep my image nice and crisp. Then I'm taking the sentiment from this stamp set, and I am stamping it twice with some juicy embossing ink, and I'm going to pull out some silver embossing powder. This is some of the oldest embossing powder in my collection. I actually got it in a lot off of eBay when I very first started stamping. So it was used when I got it, and it still embosses gorgeously. So some of our products really do last forever. Then I used the coordinating dies for the stamp set and die cut our pumpkin and the sentiment several times. And since I had the black cardstock out and it's an inexpensive lightweight black cardstock, I decided to use that to do the backs of my elements here to add some extra weight and height. I did think I was going to have some overhang on this also on the back of the tag, so I thought the black would be the best option. So it blended in with the rest of the back of the tag. Now it did not end up overlapping. It did end up being completely on the tag, but that's okay. It still looks great. You don't have to use white cardstock. There are so many options for what you can use to add some extra height to your projects. Here we are just test fitting this, and I decided it was too busy, so I pulled out the Dainty Scallop Circle dies. These just came out this past month, and it really fits with the whole theme of this card. Sorry, not a card, wine tag. However, you could certainly adapt this into a card layout. It would be equally beautiful that way. I just think that I might actually give someone a bottle of wine if I arrive to their home for Thanksgiving dinner. And this would be gorgeous on that wine bottle. Next, I took out some sparkle. I think this is a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. And I tried to go over all of the floral elements of this card. Sorry, this pumpkin. But I forgot that the Atelier ink will reactivate with water. And this is a water-based sparkle pen. So I tried to not touch the black outlines so I wouldn't smear my image, and added a little sparkle. Here, the tag is on a giant wine bottle. This is not the standard size. It's a big one. Next, we're going to use the fade out ink just because I wanted the no line quality here. You could use any light colored ink. The specialness of this ink is that it will create an outline with whatever colors you're doing over the top. And I had taken several distress inks, and I did a close-up there so you could see which colors, and smushed them onto a piece of acetate and then watercolored with them over the no-line coloring, or excuse me, the no-line image, just so I had a rough idea of where things needed to go. I wanted this to be slightly messy, and I did intend to stamp over the top of it with a black ink and then heat emboss. I used some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and some clear embossing powder just to crisp up these images. I really wanted this to have a messy watercolor look, but also have the colors kind of where I need them to be for each element. And then I die cut that. Next, we're going to take our beautiful stenciling set here, and we are going to emboss, sorry, not emboss. We're going to ink blend. I'm using one of the new blending buddies. It's a round one with I think this is more comfortable to use. And I pulled out a couple of peachy orange inks. These happen to be Pink Fresh Studios in Peach Fuzz and Apricot. And I started with the Peach Fuzz, and now I'm going to add the second layer, which you can line up with the laser etched details with the previously stenciled elements. And I'm going to do the entire 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. Now I'm going to make a 5x7 card with this, or an A7 card, so there will be more of this paper than I actually need. Next, I pulled out the Distress Mica stains in Burning Ember and Harvest Moon. I'm going to take a little bit of each of these colors tapped out onto a acrylic block, add a little water, and spatter all over the piece of paper that I've got here. I love creating backgrounds. It is one of my favorite parts of crafting, and this is just turning out better than I'd hoped. I could see this done on a colored cardstock also and being absolutely stunning. I chose those colors to play into the color scheme of the pumpkin, and then I die cut these with I die cut this mat with the third from largest of the A7 modern embossed stack, and I'm adhering that to a 5x7 card base, which is a heavyweight white cardstock cut to 10 by 7, scored in the middle at 5 inches. I had a scrap of that pattern paper that we created, and I'm going to add that to the inside of the card just to make this all cohesive. Next, for a sentiment, we're going to use one from the Beautiful Breeze stamp and die set. I found a nice peachy orange cardstock in my stash, in my rainbow of cardstock scraps. And I am embossing this with some penny embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. This happens to be just a really dark copper color, and I really wanted something that would stand out on this peachy cardstock. After I've heat embossed it, I will take the coordinating dies for these sentiments and die cut those. I do die cut a couple extra layers of white cardstock to add behind them because, as we all know, dimension is life. Now I'm going to adhere our pumpkin in the middle with the words Autumn Greetings framing the main part of our, or the main image of our card. I did think about adding some embellishments, but I thought with all of the spattering and all of the coloring and all of the shininess from the components that we've already added, it didn't actually need any additional embellishments. Could I have added them anyway and it still look good? Absolutely. So if you want to bling it out, you go for it. Now this layout would work on lots of different sizes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed creating it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think of these projects and how you might change these to your needs. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, now would be a great time. If you're interested in any of the products I used today, check that description box below. And until next time, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.